Welcome out to our training.
That's a dangerous game, Jones. Get called on.
How you guys doing?
I would call him.
What up, Gable? Our sweet boy.
My hands are wet.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Okay, a couple announcements and then we're going to start up. Thanks for being here tonight. We got reps on doors. Let's go. We are selling pest control and yeah, we've had some really big days the last couple days, even with just like 20 people out. So if you haven't been using your app, you can kind of keep a pulse on who's getting sales and kind of the leaderboard and stuff. So that's kind of fun. That same app that you're doing your trainings in, on the left side, you can check out the leaderboard. So right now we only have like 15, 20 people out selling, and soon there will be 200. So it's going to ramp up a lot. But anyway, I'm going to be joined by the other Parker tonight. We're going to tag team this. So
Yes.
let's do it. Couple announcements. Trying to think if there's anything here that's new. This is all stuff that we've been saying every week. Get in Slack, take a photo against a white wall for your lanyard. Theron, how many of the lanyards have we made, or badge IDs? Most at this point, or where are we at on that?
We're getting a really on Friday of about 100 of them, and then it's just waiting on the rest of the people to give me their photos.
Okay, and then how many bags are back here?
50.
Okay, so if they're like, okay, cool. So if you're starting before May 1st, if you're like an end of April starter, you're welcome to grab one of these bags that's in the back. It has all your uniform and all your stuff in it that you'll need for summer. Any questions about that? Okay, cool. And then, yeah, we have some sales trainings. We're going to be meeting weekly all the way till the 22nd of April. So this will be our last sales training here in a couple weeks. And we'll meet every Wednesday night until then. And I think same thing goes for Cedar City. Cedar's probably not watching this because they're doing their own training tonight, but cool. And then, yeah, get in the mobile app. There's a lot of stuff that we've been already saying. Okay, so tonight we're going to be covering objections that happen on the porch. So this is like basically first half of the sale, any objections that can come, and we're just going to do like batting practice tonight. Parker and I are just going to demo it and let you guys kind of take notes, give us feedback, and just kind of observe best practices with objections that can happen in the first half of the sale, basically. We basically chunked up the sale into two halves, and we're saying, okay, here's all the objections that can come in the first half of the sale. So hopefully that will be helpful for you guys tonight. I was super impressed last week, by the way, with the pitch contest. I think you guys did awesome. And but any resistance or nervousness usually came when objections came up, right? And so that's why we want to keep drilling down on this. Can you guys see this okay? It's actually not, probably not, because I can barely see it from here. We have a PDF with all the objections that can come throughout the sale. And we're focusing again on the first half. So there's like 8 to 10 objections here, and we're going to drill down on these tonight. This is the sales. This is your initial approach. And then if you want to kind of speak to this part.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get a smoke screen. The reason they're different is kind of where that objection comes in the time frame of your initial approach. So any objection that comes before you give kind of like the offering of, you know, if my trucks are in the area, if I could fit you in, do it for half off. If it comes before that, then it's going to be a smoke screen, right? They don't know what you're offering. They don't know who you are, who you're representing. So they're just saying no to like, hey, you're a salesman, get off my porch. Most of the time, it's going to come in two ways. It's going to be, hey, we're just not interested. See you later. Or, hey, somebody's already been by. Thank you very much. Like, peace. The way that you handle those are a little bit different than how you're going to handle an objection that comes after your offering. And it's pretty much tell a response and then resume where you were. So a lot of times as an intro, I'll say like, hey, how's it going? Parker's going to say, hey, man, I'm good. Say, oh, no worries. Have any of the neighbors filled you in on what's going on? And then I just start right back in where I've been, and I'll go through it. So that's a really condensed version of it.
So smoke screen, who can tell me that's here? Because we've kind of spelled this out a couple times now. Who can tell us, in your words, what the difference is between a smoke screen and a normal objection? Where are the mics at?
Back here.
Okay, let's hand one to Shane. So the difference between a normal objection and a smoke screen, what's based off of what Parker just said and then just kind of what we've taught in the past?
Is a normal objection comes from like a lack of understanding or it's more genuine, and a smoke screen is just to get rid of you.
Okay. Yes. And when does a smoke screen come by definition?
Like right at the start
Okay. Right at the start or?
or just during that first initial approach.
Yes. So the reason why I put this slide up here first is by definition, a smoke screen objection is if you get it before this even starts or at some point during your initial approach. Does that make sense? So if it comes before this starts or during it at some point, then it's a smoke screen objection. And how do we handle smoke screen objections? Someone else. In your words, based off what you've learned, yeah, let's go here. How do we handle a smoke screen objection versus a normal objection?
Smoke screen objection, you have to tell them your purpose while you're on the door. You can usually do that by saying, yeah, I'm just doing pest control for the neighbors and we're in the area. For normal objections, you have to tailor your response to what their concern is because there's some reason why they're telling you no and you have to help them. Well, see why.
Okay, solid. I'm gonna push on you a little bit. So a normal objection, there's 3 steps to overcoming it. What are those 3 steps on a normal objection?
Empathy response.
Empathy is the first.
Sorry, empathy. Tailored
Response.
Tailored
Yep.
response. Oh,
Yep.
okay. I'm not like forgetting
Good.
the order here.
Yeah, good.
And I don't know the third one.
Close.
Close.
Okay. So that's on a normal objection. On a smoke screen, we're going to demo this real quick. Parker just did it kind of informally, and we'll just do one. But I have this up on the screen. The biggest thing that you're going to do with this is they're going to cut you off. I'm going to cut Parker off at some point, and he is basically going to empathize and then jump right back into where he was because he has not yet gotten through the initial approach. Does that make sense? So a lot of times you're just going to jump to you're going to empathize and then jump right back to, by the way, the reason I came by is I'm doing the bugs for a bunch of homes. Who do you currently have doing the pest control for you? Anyway, that's kind of what you're working with in terms of a smoke screen objection, okay? So we give it less power, we give it less weight. We're not doing this long drawn out like logic statement because they don't even yet know what we're doing. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll have Parker demo it real quick. Cool. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. I just got done working with Bob and Ben here.
Yeah, if this is for the pest stuff, I'm good.
Totally. Yeah, I appreciate it. I guess just to quickly keep you in the loop, my trucks are going to be out here tomorrow. We're just treating a bunch of the homes.
Okay.
And if I could include you with Bob, we'd do it for over half off.
Okay. You're doing pest control for them?
Yep.
Okay. How much is that?
Yeah, great question. Yeah,
Boom.
let's go for it.
Got me.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Really good. Let's give him a hand. So let's go like sports mode, watch the film. What exactly just happened? Break it down for me. Let's go here.
Mike.
Mic him up. Coming from behind. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. He acknowledged what you were saying, but kind of just like brush it off and continue with what he was saying, and then jump to why he was there and how it could
Good.
fit.
Really good. Yep. So he went, hey, how's it going? I let him get that out, right? Hey, how's it going? I think he even started his name drop. Like,
I
I'm
did.
doing work for whatever person. Then I cut him off. So I cut him off during the initial approach. Still a smoke screen, right? What did he do next? He didn't really, I was already kind of engaged because they cut him off. So he just went to, cool. He acknowledged, like, said something like, yeah, no problem. Just so you know, I'm doing the bugs for a bunch of people here. I'm going to be here the next day or two. If I can fit you in, I can do it for really cheap. So he used the discount close instead of this question, but that works great too. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? So summer starts in 2 or 3 weeks. What are you going to do when the first door you knock all summer long swings that door open and says, "We're good."
Mike.
Give the mic. Door comes open.
Hello?
Hey, we're good, buddy.
I think the first thing, do you want me to actually do it? Or
No,
you
let's
say-
just hear it, and then yeah, actually keep the mic. We'll test you on it.
No,
Talk
I
to
think-
it, and then we'll test you.
I remember
Role play.
the like mental training we had a couple weeks ago. The first thing that came to my mind is to expect that a little bit, to be completely expecting that resistance because that's what almost everybody
It's human. Yeah.
does. And so, like that's what Parker did. It was didn't even bat an eye. You know, he actually said, "I appreciate it," which I think is
Yeah.
such like a composed way to address someone who's a little bit like hostile.
100%. Okay, let's role play it real quick. Keep the mic.
Okay,
Okay, knock my door. Hey, we're good, buddy.
I appreciate it. Just to fill you in on what's going on.
Name drop.
I do the pest control work for Bob and a bunch of other neighbors, so we could fit you in on the same route. We'd serve as a home for super cheap.
Good. Let's give him a hand. That was really good. Really good. Cool. Good work. We're gonna move on, but that's the smoke screen objection. Okay.
Any questions on it at all? No? Cool. Sweet. We're gonna go over, we're not interested. This is probably the most common one you're gonna hear. So hopefully you have this dialed. For your empathy statement, you're gonna go, no problem, just something to consider, something to think about. And then for your tailored response, we need to figure out how to make that so not pixelated. But you're gonna say some of the neighbors are starting to see a little bit of pest control activity. And right now they're just wanting to get ahead of it while it's cheap. And then if they're like super standoffish, you can insert a soft close. The one we have recommended up there is, when was the last time you had your home professionally serviced?
You kind of want to see this too. You can pull up on the Pointe app right now.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Actually, great plug.
Yeah, pull it up in your apps. It's at the very bottom. So scroll to the very bottom, and you can kind of. This is like your scriptures while we're teaching the doctrine. You know,
Yeah.
like church. Pull out your LDS Tools app or whatever it's called.
I think, is it just called library now?
Or pull out the library.
Yeah, pull up the library.
Okay, so we'll have Parker demo this one too.
Do you want me to soft close in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the top, on all these, we're gonna do initial approaches, so you can guys see a lot of reps of that, and then these aren't smoke screens, these are normal objections after the initial. So I'm gonna let him get through his initial every time, and then I'm gonna give this objection. This one is like it's not my favorite sometimes because it's like, dude, I don't have anything to work with, right? Because you didn't tell me why you're not interested. So I err on the side of educating. Like they kind of don't know still what I'm doing. So listen to Parker's tailored response on this, and it'll feel a little bit like still educating me on what he's doing, because the vibe is still kind of like you don't really know what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so listen for that.
Just maybe to add one little thing about this, typically following you're not interested, you're going to get the real objection, right? So they'll give you this just because they like want to get you off the porch the easiest way possible. You overcome this, and then they're going to tell you like, oh, it's actually because I have a company, or because I do it myself, or I don't have bugs. And so this is a great tool. Like, actually get really used to this, because this is how you actually figure out the objection that you need to overcome.
100%.
Yeah, I'll show it real
Love
quick.
that. Hello.
How are you doing?
What is up?
Yeah, I just did work with Bob right here. Has he filled you in on what we're doing today at all? or- Okay.
What
No-
you got?
Yeah, no stress. So my truck's going to be out here. We're doing the pest control work for about a dozen of the homes. And if I were able to include you today, we'd do it for super cheap.
Okay. I think we're not interested in that, so
Okay.
appreciate
yeah,
it.
Yeah, no stress. I guess just to kind of keep you in the loop, quite a few of your neighbors like Bob, they've started to see just a little bit of pest control activity, and they're just getting ahead of it while it's super cheap. When was the last time you had your home professionally serviced?
For the bugs,
Mm-hmm.
it's been probably a couple years.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, just some food for thought. Quite a few of the neighbors like to have a professional service just every couple of years on their homes. This year, since we're already out here, it's made a ton of sense for them. So if I were able to include you with all your neighbors, I'd do it for super cheap.
What do you charge?
Yeah,
for
great
that?
question. Do you know the square footage of the home?
2,200, something like that.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just do a quick lap around the outside of the home, and I could get you a free quote. It's the best way around. to
That'd
do
be
it, yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'll meet you out there.
Cool.
Solid. Let's give him a hand. Okay, what'd you guys learn on this objection? We're not interested. What did he do? Let's run it back. Replay mode, ESPN. Back, Dan, in the back. Mic him.
Like him.
Mic that man. Thank you.
Something he did that was really good was he like bandwagoned it. So he was like, just to keep you in the loop, as if there was like something going on that person should be aware of.
Yeah,
Which was good to just kind of get him thinking like, oh, everyone's doing this. Like I need to be like in on this too.
that's right. Love that. Always using the neighbors and kind of this like trend vibe of what's happening. I love that. Yeah.
Something I just love is his tone. You know, it's something that we all have to, notice
Yep.
because it's super humane. He's acting natural.
Yep.
He's not acting like a salesman.
Yep.
And so if we always keep that natural, humane tone, I think people are going to be more open to actually listen.
I love that. That's a great thought, dude. Yeah, Parker's done this at a way high level. He's been a top 10 rep basically every year he's done this. And I think the reason why is he comes off as a messenger and doesn't feel obnoxious, It's hard to be persuasive when you're abrasive. And there's a bar for you.
Yeah.
Take that one off.
Like,
And he doesn't come off abrasive at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great thought. Any other nuggets, chicken nuggets that you guys observed? Okay, cool. Both these are kind of similar. Again, you can kind of use, but the main thing I would just highlight with this, actually, here's another route you could go with this on a different tailored response. I'll do this. We'll do one more demo of this, and I'm going to use just a different tailored response that you could use that just came to my mind. Okay, so same objection. I'm going to use a little bit of a different tailored response, but it'll feel kind of similar.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'm Parker. I'm doing work with Gary and a bunch of the neighbors
Okay.
here. Have any of the neighbors told you about me or what we're doing?
No, they haven't.
Okay, so I do the bugs for like 20 homes here in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I was curious who you guys have doing that for you.
We don't have anybody. I'm just not super interested.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I guess just something to think about. It's pretty early in the season for the bugs, and most of these homes are about 20 years old, and
Okay.
so they're just getting some treatment done because it hasn't been done in a while.
Cool.
When was the last time you guys had the home done?
Probably 10 years ago or so. It's been a minute.
Yeah, probably do. I'm biased, but it's pretty smart to get it done pretty often out here.
Okay.
I am going to be here anyway doing a bunch of these homes, and if I can fit you in while I'm here, I would be willing to do it for really cheap.
Okay. Yeah. How much is that?
Do you know the square footage of the house?
Yeah, it's like 2,000 square feet.
Okay, I would just need to do a quick inspection on the outside, and then I can give you a free quote.
Cool.
Do you have a gate on either side?
Yeah, just on the right here.
Cool. And then if you want to just put some shoes on, I'll meet you in the back.
Okay. That sounds good.
Cool.
Cool.
Sweet.
Give it up.
What stands out on that one? So basically, what did I use on the tailored response on that one different than Parker's? Both good, just different, right? Different logic. Yeah. What did that sound like on that one? Okay, let's go, Mike.
It seemed very specific to the area, like you were knowledgeable about the homes. and
Okay, what did I
the
say?
need. That a lot of the homes, it's early in the season for the bugs, but since the homes are around 20 years old and they haven't had it in a while, that's why people are getting it done.
Yes, exactly. So again, not interested. I'm trying to educate them on something. So you can go age of the home as a tailored response. You can go, but the main thing is this: you want pest control or something about the bugs to be in your tailored response because you're not even certain that they know still what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. I don't know. Raise your hands if you guys have ever used that called Zillow before. Okay, tons of people. Actually, that's sweet. I hope you guys all have it downloaded. You should use that every single day of your summer. Like, go to your area, get on Zillow, see how old all the homes are, or like the average age for your area. And typically for like my third no or my second no, I will always pull out the age card on the homes. That's something that, one, gives you tons of credibility, and then it's also extremely logical, right? The older the home, the more bugs it's going to have. So definitely have that app, utilize that. It's super, super helpful.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say on this, just on that thought before we go to the next slide, what is, as a homeowner, right? Like sophisticated person, owned a home for 10 years. Like, what does that tell me about the sales rep and who I'm talking to if he knows the age of my home?
Mike.
Local, yeah, I love that. Like local, he's not like a young chump that just like he knows his stuff or she knows her stuff, right? Like, you want to try your very hardest this summer, even though a lot of you, this is your first time ever doing this. You want it to feel like you're just smart and you know that you know your stuff. You're an expert. Does that make sense? So age of home can be a way cool way to kind of like set yourself apart from the kid that came by a month ago that sounded like a goober and sounded like he just read a script, you know? So love that.
Maybe not to get too into the weeds. So with not interested, the kind of the standard tailored response we have here mentions that the neighbors are starting to see bugs. When Parker did his, he kind of mentioned that people aren't seeing bugs, but the homes are old, right? I would change that. I would situational sell. So if you're in an area and you haven't seen a single bug all day, and sometimes that happens, then I wouldn't go around telling everybody that the neighbors are starting to see bugs, right? I'd probably then go Parker's route, say, hey, not a ton of activity. It's just a maintenance thing. These homes are 20 years old, right? Because you can kind of like pigeonhole yourself into a thing. Like this guy I'm talking to, neighbors are all starting to see bugs. Parker hasn't seen bugs in 15 years, right? He's going to disqualify himself right there. So, yeah, I would just situational sell with that. If people are seeing tons of bugs, then I would rock this. If you're not seeing a ton of activity with the bugs, then rock Parker's.
Cool.
Yep.
We've done this one a lot. So I'm going to do one quick demo on this, and then we're going to move on to the next one because I feel like we've hit this like I'm not seeing bugs a lot.
Do you want me to demo?
Just demo it real quick,
Yeah.
and then we'll just move on. Hey, what up?
Yeah, I just did some work with Ben and Ryan here. Have they filled you in on what's going on today?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Hey,
Smoke screen, curveball. Here we go.
I appreciate it. No stress. Just to keep you in the loop with the neighbors, quite a few of them have just been calling us out to do the pest control work for them. And while I'm in the area, if I could include you, we'd do it for super cheap.
Okay, I don't see any bugs.
Cool.
So we'll probably pass on that.
Totally. Yeah, definitely shouldn't be seeing much this early in the season.
Yeah, it's like March or April. So
yeah, just something to consider. Quite a few of these guys are just having to do a preventative treatment right now. It's made a ton of sense for them because we're already out here and we're doing it for super cheap.
okay.
So if I were able to include you just after Ryan's home, we'd do it for over half off.
What do you charge?
Yeah, great question. Do you know the square footage?
Okay,
of
boom.
those
That was
homes?
solid.
Yeah.
Let's give him a hand. That was good.
Yep.
See how like I threw a smoke screen curveball at him and it's just like nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Like took it, still delivered the offering, still closed, and then I gave him a real objection after the initial objection was not seeing bugs. He went with empathy, no one's seeing too much, mainly doing prevention for a lot of the neighbors. If you wanted to try that while I'm here, it's early in the season, so I'm getting ahead of it, super cheap. Gotta how much?
Yep.
Boom.
Cool.
Okay. Switch over. We're going to hammer this again. I've already taught this one once, but we're going to kind of go deeper on it tonight. So this is just another one. So we already have someone. Empathy statement. Totally smart to your first move here is to basically compliment them on the fact that they have someone. Okay. So awesome. That's smart. You got to have someone in this area. You're going to say that basically on every switchover. Compliment them, but don't overdo it to where you're like stoking them up on who they chose, right? Like, oh, active,
smart
that
to
was
have
super
active.
amazing. Yeah. That's like such a bright decision. So compliment them on the idea that they have someone, but not on who they have. Then qualifying is your next move. What are the two qualifying questions on a switchover? Who do you have? How long? Okay. Those matter a lot. You cannot effectively do a good tailored response without knowing who they have. So it's really, really difficult. One out of every 100 switchovers will be like, I'm not telling you. And it's a little tricky to like work with that person because you don't have you can't differentiate when you don't know who they are, you know? So then you're just kind of throwing spaghetti. Well, whoever you have, I'm local, like I'm competitive.
They probably do this.
Yeah. Or is it like a big company? You're like still qualifying to try to pull it out of them. So, by the way, if you're getting that a lot, here's some sauce for you. If you're getting that I'm not telling you thing a lot, you're probably creating that. You're probably awkward and they're nervous about you. Does that make sense? Part of the whole thing with empathizing properly is if you empathize properly, then they should open up to you. So if it's day 1 or day 2 and you're getting a lot of switchovers where they're not willing to tell you who they have, then you need to point the finger at yourself and be honest about what my vibe is, because I'm making people nervous. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm asking who do they have, how long, and then I'm sharing a really strong logic statement as to why I've had people want to try me out this year instead of who they have. And then if vibes are amazing and he's head nodding and he's given tons of interest, then I'll just go right for the how much right there. But in most cases, 80 to 90% of cases, I'm going to now go with some discovery questions and see if I can open them up, ask them why they called that company out, kind of put their company in a box a little bit in terms of what they do, maximize mine and kind of differentiate. And then at some point when I have a little bit more momentum, try to get a how much. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to demo it. Any questions on the framework of a switchover before I kind of get into this? Okay, we'll do this once or twice and kind of make sure we're getting comfortable with this one. So I'm not even going to ask him who he has. He'll just tell me. And then based off of that, it's going to change what my tailored response is, right? If it's
I'll hit on that.
Yeah, let me hit on that before I do this demo. Big company, what are some good nuggets? So let's say it's a big corporate company, Aptiv or Terminex or Orkin. Who else is big? I don't know. Every company, every market has kind of their big ones. What would be some good nuggets as a tailored response? Us against a big company. Local.
Have like more specific.
Tailored service, more specific and detailed service to this area. That's money. What else? You can go with like kind of more of a family vibe, get a hold of us easier, not calling into a call floor, getting someone from somewhere random across the world, like different. What else? Any other nuggets that you can kind of think of? Those are some good ones, right? That's a good place to start. Okay, so let's go the opposite. Let's say you knock a door and they're like, I have Joe's Pest Control. And, Joe's been here servicing my home for 20 years and he's super cheap. And yeah, what do I have to work with on that? Thoughts? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Joe's Pest Control, like, most of the time, Joe is not like super loaded in terms of like, he doesn't usually do everything. He usually doesn't do the eaves super well, or maybe he doesn't granulate the yard like we do, or maybe he doesn't do the mosquitoes. Most of the time, Joe has a niche. And you got to know Joe's niche, and then it'll help you with your tailored response against Joe. Does that make sense? Most of the time, Joe services homes himself, or he has a couple techs. And so getting Joe to come back to you day of can be tricky because he doesn't have the resources, bandwidth. So there are some disadvantages there. I would usually go with more of a scope of service focus and try to put Joe in a box in terms of why they called Joe out, what is he doing for them, get him kind of locked in on what he does, and then add to Joe's thing. Because we have a freaking amazing service, and it's usually way better than local Joe. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's demo it.
Cool. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. I am doing work on Willow Street here with a bunch of homes.
Okay.
I do Gary next to you and some of the other houses.
Got you.
Have they talked to you about me at all?
No, they haven't. Seems like you're doing pest control.
Yeah. So I did the bugs for a bunch of these guys. I was curious who was doing yours this year.
Totally. Yeah, I just have Orkin.
Okay.
Come out for me. Yeah.
Yeah, smart. You got to have someone out here.
Oh,
Still,
definitely.
definitely
Yeah.
smart. Just something to think about. I've had some people this year want to try us out. So I'm with Palisade. We're a local group.
Okay.
So a lot of people like to try something a little bit more local and keep their money here in the area.
Cool.
My service is very tailored to this area, so I've had some
Okay.
people really happy about that. And then my price is kind of my best part.
Okay.
We're not a massive, corporation. When you call that Orkin, do you mind me asking kind of what you call them out for?
Yeah, it was mainly the spiders for me, and then my wife really hated the ants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So they probably do like a perimeter treatment around the base of the house.
Yeah.
And then do they come out with that stick like up in the top there, or
No.
mainly
no.
just the base?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting rid of like some of the basement spiders.
And they do that a couple times a year? Or,
Yeah, exactly.
And how long have they been doing it?
They've been doing it for probably 4 years now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, smart to do something.
Yeah.
Well, just something to think about. So when I come, I do the base of the house like they're doing.
Cool.
But I did notice some wasps up top there.
Totally. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
obnoxious.
So being local, we target everything that you'd see here. So we're not gonna just kind of bare bones do the base. We'll do that plus the top, and then I also do the whole yard for you.
Oh, okay.
And most of the time, my price is competitive, even with the big ones, even getting more value, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to try something different this year, it's still pretty early in the season. It'd be kind of an easy switch.
Okay.
I'd do it for really cheap if you're willing to look at it.
Yeah. What do you guys typically charge?
What's the square footage of the house?
It's like 2,000 square feet.
Okay, cool. I would just do a quick walk around and then I can just give you a quote. Do you want to meet me out back in a couple of minutes and I'll show you what I'm doing?
Yeah, that'd be
Show
great.
you a price.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
Give it-
Okay, let's talk through that. What did you notice? What stood out? Okay, what did that sound like? What words and stuff?
You minimized orchid by talking about the quick perimeter treatment and the stick and the eaves.
Yep.
Then you maximized with your higher value treatment that keeps at a really competitive price.
Love it. Solid. Way good. Yeah.
Kind of going off that, I feel like you did a really good job of showing yourself as an expert.
Okay.
Like, even though you want to make sure he feels like he's the one in charge and he's like doing everything, you kind of showed how you knew what was going on. You knew exactly what their service was all about. And then you just knew how to explain your service. So you sounded like a professional.
Cool.
And yeah.
Yeah, love it. Solid. Anything else that jumped out? I think those are good takeaways. So like Orkin, I went with, local, more tailored service. A lot of times the big companies kind of same as Joe, like they're just, in fact, but the problem with big ones, a lot of times they overpromise and then they underdeliver. So they say they do everything, but because they're so big, they're just kind of like show up, got to get to my next customer type of thing. So you'll get a lot of customers that really get ticked at like big corporation companies. It happens all the time. Like how many, if you knock an Orkin customer right now, what's your chance of selling
At least
that?
above 90.
Yeah, like it is a high
100%. I like
Orkin and
excited.
Terminex are like the McDonald's of pest control, and you can rip those all the time. So.
I think the other thing to know, so during his kind of qualifying phase, he actually went ahead and
I skipped that.
this.
Yeah, I didn't mean to actually, but
Okay, but there is I thought he did, but there's a part of where I skipped out on an Orkin customer. They do not have
good point.
a contract. And if they have a contract, there's no cancellation fee. So it doesn't really, like, I'm not worried about this customer now having to go pay a cancellation fee down the road when he decides to jump on with us, right? Now, if I was going local, there's probably a contract, or especially if it's another door-to-door group, there's definitely a contract.
Utah companies, always a contract.
Yep.
Aptive, Fox, Moxie, doesn't matter. Hawks, go down the list. Greenix, always a contract, sometimes 2 years. So if you knock a company and you recognize them because you've seen their office in Utah, you got to ask, how long have you been with them?
Yeah.
Because
you want to know where you're at with that customer and where they are in their contract. So with the big Orkin Terminex, sometimes I will forego that, like, especially if they're like, oh, I'm unhappy. Like, I already know it's not going to be an issue. However, door-to-door or local group, I'm always going to ask that qualifying question.
Yeah, if it's to your point, Terminex or Orkin or one of the big ones, even if they just signed up 6 months ago, switch that thing because they will not fight for that customer. Like they're just like, cool, easy come, easy go, see you later. We're not going to they're really easy to get out of their contracts on the big ones.
I've sold people that got treated like a week before.
Gallon West, that one that I put on Slack today, or I think on my Instagram story, he sold a $1,500 contract on a Terminex account that got serviced yesterday.
Yes.
So
yeah, they are awesome to switch over.
So yeah.
I love it.
Okay, DIY. Let me do this one. What time is it? I'm gonna keep rocking.
8:37.
All right. We'll do a couple more of these. Okay, DIY, the empathy is going to sound somewhat similar to a switchover. Okay. Pop quiz, what does the empathy sound like on a switchover? Just did this. Got to have someone. Okay, so similar vibe, super smart to do something. Oh, that's awesome. You got to do something out here, super smart. So it's a similar vibe. You're complimenting them. You're complimenting them on doing something, but again, the compliment can be overdone, right? You can like jazz them up on like, oh man, that's awesome. You're doing something. What are you using? You using like and you might get like a guy be like, oh yeah, let me show you. And then he's all pumped on selling you now on what he does. So you can over stoke him up on home defense. Yeah. Like we've all had that customer where it goes wrong and you over empathize and then he's like, let me show you what I got.
Yeah.
And then now you're in this guy's garage for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's showing you all these freaking chemicals.
Yeah. And I guess to like add to that, the other question there, like, you know, what do you use or what do you do can be another negative one, especially early on.
Yes.
Because he'll go, I do this, 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 this. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It gasses him up. Now, maybe asking that question a little later on, like in the backyard, like, oh, what bugs are you targeting? Ants. Okay. Does that mean you just do home defense around the base?
Yes.
Like you have more control when you're in the backyard with them than on the front porch. So I would like kind of
such a nugget. So don't ask a DIY what they're using to treat early on or what they're doing. Like, how are you treating? I would not ask that early on in the conversation on the porch because you're basically taking the mic that's supposed to belong to you to sell them and you're putting it in their face. Like, sell me on home defense, you know?
And I guess a question for you guys, what are DIYers like? What type of people are they? Right. Yeah. Maybe I was saying something different.
Yeah, I'm saying this is just a question that's maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is it okay to maybe ask the closed question? Like when they say, hey, yeah, I take care of it myself. Is it okay to say, oh, are you using more of like the ortho or the home defense products? Like
I wouldn't go that.
You wouldn't do that either?
Early on, I would not go that route.
Okay.
Yeah, I would empathize, share a tailored response, and then you can still ask a question. Like, but I would make it more about, you want to keep the mic. Empathy allows you to kind of like share now some information, and then you can close and engage the customer. But I would not be asking questions like curiosity questions about like what they got going on with their DIY stuff. It can be bug focused.
That's what I was about to say.
So like, what do you mainly treat for? What do you typically see here that you're taking care of? Because then that's a good question because I can solve for that problem. But if he's super stoked on ortho or DIY, like you just don't want to go let him get stoked on that.
Or just minimize it yourself instead of giving it to him.
Yeah, let me do a demo. We'll do a couple demos on this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say one more thing. Sorry. There are different types of DIY. So there might be a white collar dude that's DIY that just happens to kind of for a season be doing it himself, but he makes $1 million a year in a rich neighborhood. And I am going to approach him differently than I am the country boy that's like, I'm pulling up and he's got overalls on and dirt on his hands. Like one of those like likes to DIY and the other one is like, it's like, dude, what are you doing it yourself, you know? So you do need to be mindful of who the type of DIY person is. Does that make sense? That matters a lot with DIY too. But anyway, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I am doing work with a bunch of neighbors here. I do John's house across the street.
Okay.
Has he talked to you or have any of the neighbors told you about me?
No, they haven't.
Cool. So I do the bugs. I do the
Okay.
pest control, and I'm going to be here the next day or two doing about 15 homes.
Gotcha.
I was curious who you got doing that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I do it myself, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do something. So
Oh, yeah.
super,
Yeah.
super smart.
Great.
That's great. Well, something to think about. Some of these guys that I mentioned were they were doing it themselves. This year, they're willing to give me a shot,
Okay.
mainly because I'm using really effective products that last a little bit longer. And then you have a big, beautiful home here. I'm able to get to some of the top, like the tall, tough to get to spots.
Gotcha.
And then my price is, it's competitive.
Okay.
And so someone like yourself, I'd be willing to save you some time and take it off your plate.
Okay.
If you wanted to try it out just this year, like I said, I'm doing all these other guys, I would be willing to do it for really cheap.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys like do that's so different?
Yeah, good question. What do you typically treat for yourself? around here? If you don't mind.
Primarily like ants, and then I get like the mounds out in the yard with the ants as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so mainly ants.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're local. We specialize in all that stuff. So I do a perimeter treatment. I'll show you actually real quick. And ants in this area tend to nest up in like the walls and in the cracks and
Okay.
some of those spots. We use a product that they take on their body and it gets back to the nest or
Oh,
like the
gotcha.
queens.
Okay.
And most of the time, the stuff at the store that you're probably using, it kills everything that it touches, but it doesn't go get to the source.
Got you.
So most people out here in this area and in this neighborhood, they have us do it 4 or 5 times a year,
Got you.
and it makes a huge difference.
Okay.
What do you do? What do you do for work? You're probably a busy guy.
Yeah. I'm an engineer.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna
Mhm.
say this is a beautiful home.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's done well.
well, I'm a blue collar boy, and I have time on my hands, so I'd be
Gotcha.
happy to do this. I would be really competitive on my price.
Okay.
Are you here the next day or two?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd give you a quote. I would just do a quick walk around on the outside and give you a number on that if you're willing to look at the price.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me take a look. Do you have a gate on either side of the
Yeah,
house?
just on the right.
Okay, cool. Sounds
Cool.
good. Sweet.
Yeah. I kept it going a little longer.
That was good. Cool. Yeah, takeaways on that. He was obviously the rich guy.
Yes.
Yeah, the second of
Not in real life though.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right. Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Takeaways on the DIY? What happened? Just play it back for me. Yeah.
Well, again, you're using the bandwagoning because you're telling them about other gentlemen in the area who are
Yeah.
also doing it themselves and why they decided to give you a chance and to hear you out.
Yeah. Big on DIY. The bandwagon thing is really big on do-it-yourselfers. Because people care about what their neighbors are doing, and if it was good enough for them to do it, especially in a wealthy neighborhood, there is a little bit of that like, I make more than John across the street, and maybe this is like beneath me to be treating my own house for this, like there is some of that going on, and so bandwagon works in neighborhoods for sure. So good thought. What else? Maybe 1 or 2 other thoughts. Yeah.
I liked how you were kind of like, it's us against the bugs. Like you were like, I'd love to take the burden of the
Yeah.
bugs for you.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to do that. I would love to just take that off.
Yeah, the
your
vibe I was
shoulders.
trying to create there with that closed question of like, what do you do for work? I wasn't just asking him what he does for work because like I'm curious. There's a little bit of this like, you're busy and I can take this off your plate, right? And so that's kind of what was trying to be created there.
Love it.
So, okay, cool. We'll move on. Any last nuggets on DIY? Okay, we got a couple more. I need to talk to my spouse.
Cool.
You got it?
Yeah, this one is one you'll hear a ton. And there's 2 types of people, right? There's a decision maker in the family and typically the non-decision maker. And during the summer, it's very important that you figure out who that is, because that's going to be the person that gives you like the yes or the no on buying the pest control. So there's kind of a format that we have. It's really simple. So I usually make a joke here. So my empathy statement is going to be like, oh, that's great. Well, I totally understand. I'm definitely in the pest control business, not the divorce business. I love to
Love
keep you guys on the same page, and usually they'll get like some laugh out of that. Then my tailor response here is going to be more of like just a question. A lot of people will say they want to talk to their spouse, even though they're the decision maker. And the reason why is a lot of times most of the time a decision maker feels guilty for making choices without their partner. So you want to kind of get a feel and see if they actually are the decision maker or not. So a lot of times I'm going to ask like a filler question of like, cool, is it typically you that handles all the stuff outside or?
Yeah, this is usually my department.
Cool. So yeah, they're giving me that response. I'm like, cool, this guy's the decision maker. It's like, oh no, my wife loves mowing the lawn. She does that. I'm like, cool, I should probably talk to the wife. The other option you have here, it's terribly small, but if he says no, like I don't take care of the lawn outside, that's my wife. The alternative that I have, because I'm already on their door, is cool. I totally understand. If I were to make getting the pest control a no-brainer, would you be willing to make a decision without her?
It's cheap enough.
Yeah, right. So a lot of times if like the deal's good enough or it makes sense enough for them, they know their partner, they'll make a decision. So you can still close a deal.
Or they might say, yeah, I'm probably, but I just would maybe want to run it by her. I would probably still proceed with that one and probably try to sell it. And then at the very end of the sale, kind of have them be like, if you want to just send her a text before we do this, like I want to be, I know you said you want to run it by her, but like you can basically go and sell that thing. Cause like run it by her is different than I want her to be here for when, for this, or I want her to be top of funnel, like make this decision with you type thing.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to how they word their objection with the spouse objection. Run it by is way different than this is their department. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Parker asked some amazing, like kind of qualifying questions early on. So let's do this one. I'll give you that objection.
Cool.
What up?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi.
Good. I just did some work with Ben right here. Did he tell you about the pest control going on? Okay.
Nope.
No stress. So I've had a bunch of your neighbors call me out to do a little bit of pest control work on their homes. And while I'm out here, if I could fit you in, I would do it for cheap.
Okay. Probably want to talk to my wife.
Cool. That definitely makes sense. Happy wife, happy life, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
No, totally. Well, just a quick question. Is it usually your department to do this stuff outside, or does she take care of that?
Probably more me than her. Like we've had a company or two in the past, and I've been the one that set it up, but
Okay.
but I'd probably want her to be in the loop.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. You definitely want to be both on the same page.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, a lot of these neighbors, this just made a lot of sense for them. While I'm out here, it's definitely cheaper. So I'd love to shoot you a free quote on it. That way you have all the information you need. So I just do a really quick lap around the outside of the home and I'll give you a free quote.
Okay. I don't know that we have a lot of bugs.
So yeah, honestly, a lot of the neighbors, they're not seeing a ton either. Right now, due to the homes being 10 years old, they're just wanting a good preventative treatment on them this year. And so, yeah, if we were able to earn your business, we'd definitely love to give you a good deal on it.
Okay.
Is there a better way around the outside?
Yeah, you can go take a look. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's give him a hand. That was really good. Okay, so like I just want to highlight the fact that like on that one, I'm bouncing from spouse to no bugs, and like see how like you get to a place where you just have your go-to tailored responses, and it's just like easy, like yeah, empathy, and then you share your logic statement for that one, and he did that so confidently and then overcame that. So he overcame 2 objections really nicely, confidently, and then got into the backyard. So that was solid, dude.
Cool.
Any takeaways? We're going to kind of move a little quicker and get this done. Okay, so spouse, big thing here is like he said, empathize, ask a question or two to get a feel for if they're open to doing it, if you can make it a no-brainer. If so, proceed. If not, then actually, I want to say one more thing on this. Come back. Like, don't take that as an objection and then not come back and talk to the other spouse. But I would set that appointment, especially if it's a pretty solid one, for like later, like 8 p.m. because you know that you're going to have someone to talk to at 8 p.m. and it's kind of an appointment at this point, right? Don't come back at 6 o'clock for this one. Save your 6 to 8 window for like new, fresh stuff. Does that make sense? Because it's not weird to knock this door as it's getting a little bit dark, because you can lead with, hey, I talked to your husband earlier and I told him I'd come by on my way out, right? So that's not a weird initial, but when you're knocking a cold one at 8:30, that can get a little bit dicey, right? So like I'm saying save these appointments till 8 o'clock or whatever, push them back a little bit so that you can really optimize your 6 to 8 window, because that's prime time. That's when you're catching all the decision makers home. Does that make sense? That's a big one. Time management is freaking important with this job if you want to sell a ton. Let's go here and there.
Would it be an option to do an over the phone sale if the decision maker isn't home?
It is.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, sometimes the best move is when you're on an inspection and they're like, I want to run it by my spouse. Like, hey, yeah, totally. Is she available? I'm happy to jump on with her real quick and just explain to her what we've talked about. That could be a really great solution. So yeah, over the phone, like all of us, it feels like every day if you're selling a lot, you have a deal where you're in the backyard and you have to call the spouse and kind of get them on board, and then it closes. 100%. That happens all the time too. Yeah. Empathize. Like they say that and then you go, yeah, totally. Yeah, I want to make sure she's in the loop. Well, let's call her real quick if you're cool with that. And then he's like, screw it. She'll be fine with it. And then I'll make a joke like, yeah, let's make you a hero. She's going to love you for this. Getting rid of the bugs, you know.
Actually, you're getting a hero.
Yeah, a little humor. It's fun.
And then back here.
I was just wondering, because I was talking to Brinley about this the other day,
Uh-huh.
of like when these situations arise, how much detail do you want to give to the one spouse? Because she was saying how sometimes they can kind of skew it, like when their spouse gets home or when they talk to them, based on the details you gave. And so then you come back and they're like, oh, we totally don't want this because they misunderstand.
Let me share you an example with that. Parker, I want to hear your thoughts. That happens when you get too far down the funnel with the wrong person. So, like in this scenario, let's say I said, my wife does that. Honestly, like I work and she handles all things on the home front, even pest control, like she's your girl. If Parker then said, well, let's still do a quick walk around and let me give you guys a quote on this. And like, let's go deep, let's get in the backyard and let me do the full inspection. First of all, you're going to waste your time because you're literally talking at and with the wrong person for 30 minutes, which is not smart. And then the spouse is the person on this. And so we just went and had a 30-minute dialogue. We have to do the whole thing all over again with her. And most of the time what happens with this is she gets home and I say, hey, babe, pest control kid came by today. It's $1,000 for the year. You want to do it? Like, she's going to be like, no, that sounds stupid, Because she didn't get to hear any of the value or the pitch or anything. So there's no salesmanship there. So it's better to just nip it, not even go there and be like, hey, I'll come by on my way out at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I'll run it by your spouse. Does that make sense? So what Brinley's telling you there is like she probably this summer went down the funnel with the wrong person and she comes back for the go back and the other spouse has already been talked to, but it was like not a sales pitch. It was like the not highlight reel that it's $1,000 and it's pest control.
Save that, like
you just don't go there. You still can, yeah. You could overcome that, but I would much rather not have to do that.
Usually overcoming that means you have to lower the price. Like that's a quick way. Like,
yeah.
Well, there's some options. Like it might be a little cheaper if like you decide not to do a few things, right? And then they're like, oh, what things? And then that gives you now the opportunity to like present and like build value again. And then, do the price.
Yeah. 100%.
My take on this is I'll try to get in the backyard with quite a few people. If they're like point blank, like Parker said, like, no, I don't do this at all. Obviously, I'm not going to waste my time. But if they're like, yeah, I'm the decision maker and you kind of get the vibes right off the go that they're not, I'll still get in the backyard. But a couple of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some questions. Hey, when you treat, what do you use? And if they're like, I don't really know. Or like, hey, what bugs do you see outside? I don't really know. It's like, cool, this person does not do it, right? Like the spouse is probably the one. That's when I'm going to table the inspection, say, hey, what time's your spouse by? Or what's the question I like is, what's the latest I can come by? And they say 9:30. I'm like, perfect. I'll be here at 9:30, right? One, it gives me a reason now to be out till 9:30 knocking doors. But then two, it's not hard to knock a door that is expecting you at 9:30, right? So
it's absolutely gangster to sell an account at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You got to do that. Okay. We don't own the home. We're renters. How many more of these do we have? I'm just going to do one more.
I say we do the renter.
Okay, let's do renter. We're going to do one more. Renter. Okay, so some of the markets that we're in, there are, 20-30% of your accounts could be renters. Northwest Arkansas, so I know there's our Arkansas team's really big this summer. If you're on that team, listen up. Walmart is there. Walmart employs a ton of people for a year or two, and then they just kind of move back to wherever they're from. So they do these like contracts. So renters can be really good customers, and they are qualified. That's the beauty of pest control is like anything else that you're going to sell, solar, alarms, whatever, usually renters are not good customers. In pest control, they can be. So it doesn't mean they're disqualified, but you do need to qualify them because there are certain tenants that are for sure not qualified. Like if they are moving out in 6 months, I would not sell that thing. They need to plan on being in the home for another year to do a contract with you, right? Or if they're moving out, then they need to be buying a home or moving into a location that we can move it with them. So like there's just some questions that need to be asked to make sure they're qualified. But your goal is to help them feel qualified. Most of the time, renters don't feel qualified for pest control, right? I own rentals in Utah County, and some of my tenants are like, they've been there. Like I have a house in Pleasant Grove, and they have been there for a long time. I never go by it. They mow their own grass. They probably have a pest control service. I don't even know if they do. And so if someone knocked their door, like they for sure could be an amazing pest control customer. And they, at this point, they would be on the books for like 5 years, you know, like, so there's tenants that can be really good customers is what I'm trying to get at. So empathy here is totally, a lot of the neighbors that, a lot of the neighborhood in here actually does rent, and I still help them. I'm able to help them. That's kind of your empathy statement to make sure they understand, like, I have other customers that do rent. I love this question. I'd assume the landlord doesn't have someone coming out for you for the bugs. So that's the question on the back of the empathy statement. So like I have a lot of customers in here that are renters. I would assume that the landlord doesn't have someone doing the bugs for you currently. Usually they're going to say no to that. If they say yes to that, like yes, the landlord has someone, most of the time I'm going to walk, because I'm not super stoked about like calling their landlord and trying to switch him from some other company over the phone. He's probably hard to get a hold of. They could even have a property manager. Like it's a waste of time. When a first year rep calls me and says, hey, I think I have a good, promising sale loaded up. It's a rental and they have a property management company, and they gave me the number of the property management company.
I'm going to sell 20 of them.
Yeah. And they have 20 homes. Like I usually, it's the depressing combo, but I tell that first year rep, like, dude, I know that sounds promising, but like I would probably just go on to the next house because it's kind of a complicated deal, So, but if they say, no, he doesn't have anyone or she doesn't have anyone, then I'm going to go with the, cool. Well, like I said, I know this isn't your house, but like you live here, it's your home. You probably plan on being here a couple more years. If you want to get it done, I'm doing a bunch of homes. If I can fit you in, I can do it for really cheap. Cool. So, okay, we'll demo that.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'm doing work with a bunch of neighbors here in the development. I do this house that's just 2 houses down from you. Have any of the neighbors told you guys about us or what we're doing?
No, I don't talk to a ton of neighbors. I'm just a renter here.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I do the pest control for a bunch of these houses out here.
Oh, okay.
I actually do a lot of the houses in the neighborhood that are rentals.
Oh, okay.
So that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I would assume the landlord doesn't have something set up for you for the bugs.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, so most of these guys in here, like I said, I do their house a couple times a year for the pest control.
Got you.
And some of these guys are just seeing some ants and spiders, things like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
do some prevention. If I can fit you in while I'm doing the other houses, I'm willing to do it for really cheap.
Okay. Yeah, how much does that run?
Yeah, what's the square footage of the house?
It's like 2,000 square feet. I
Okay,
think.
cool. And then I would roll through the inspection.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's get some takes from Parker, just barely. That's super high level. And then I want to give a little nugget on renter, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear some takes really quick from Parker's role play there.
Ready.
Let's get a mic over here.
You just made him feel like you made the client feel qualified, because you're saying, oh, like half the people I treat are renters already. Like I can help you out here. And it just kind of makes it more sense for him.
100%. Yeah, you're trying to help them feel qualified, like give them power to make a decision. That's big with renters.
Cool. What else?
Cool.
Okay. Let me give my little nugget. So reason I want to add some stuff is I had my first 13-day ever was 12 renters.
Wow.
And it was sweet. And what I love to say, really similar to Parker, I'll say, yeah, no worries. I guess just to keep you in the loop, a bunch of the neighbors out here actually rent as well. Renters actually love us. The reason why is we have a group discount going on in the neighborhood, but we also have a renter's discount. And so if you were to try me, it'd actually be over half off.
Solid.
The reason I like that route, like just really fast, if he says then no, I'm going to say, cool, do you guys take care of the outside or does the landlord? And then I'm going to qualify him a little bit more. What kind of people typically rent though? Like people who love to spend money, right? Who love tons of discounts and
They got bad debt. They
They
can't
have
buy a
to have
house.
that. They're not great at like spending their money. And so getting a double discount.
They got a Raptor in the driveway.
Yeah. They got $100,000 truck, but they're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, they love discounts. So I'm pretty much telling them now that I'm stacking a discount on top of the group discount, and that usually excites them a ton. So on that 13-day, I said that on every door, and I got a how much right off the rip every time.
Renter's discount. That's solid.
Yes. The nice part is if then they say I don't know, I'm just not super interested. Then I'll go ahead and then I'll do this qualifying thing just like Parker did, and it doesn't hurt me at all, right? So I'll just go, cool. Do you typically take care of the outside, or does the landlord?
I mean, I mow the grass.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Well, in my experience, I've been doing this for a long time. Typically, if the landlord has you taking care of the grass and the other things, they're having you do the bugs as well.
Yeah, I don't think they'd mind.
Yeah. So while I'm out here, if we could do both of those discounts, it'd make it really cheap for you.
Okay. How much?
Yeah. Boom. Great question. Right. So that's like my maybe nugget on
That
it,
was,
but-
yeah, I think that's really great.
Yep.
Any questions on that or just takeaways from anything tonight? We didn't get to price, or someone already came by, but we covered a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
On the two discounts talking about, you said it was a group discount and a home renter's discount?
Yeah.
Again, is that like the $100 off for giving them of the first visit? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So nice part is like you're very in control of what those discounts are, right? Like if you have somebody Jones and loves the service, then you do less of a discount, right? If you have somebody that like you're pulling teeth to get them to buy, then you can give them a little bit more of a discount, right? The group discount is because you're already in the area, you're doing a big group of people on the day, right? That's like the whole trend thing that we're building. The renter's discount is going to be like specific to this customer. Sometimes I'll do that like with the military, right? So if I'm talking to a guy that has like a Marines flag in his yard, I'll go ahead and say, hey, I do know I have the group discount. I really like you, Bob. I noticed you're in the military. Like, I'd love to tack on a military discount if you give me a try.
People love that. Like sports teams.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
like
the Eagles.
you'll
Here you
be,
go.
some of you guys will be in Alabama this summer. Like you see a big dude, when you're in the South, I would, in fact, if you're in Bama, I would get a lanyard.
Yes.
Or your Arkansas, same thing, dude. I'd get anyone SEC football. It's freaking their religion, dude. Jesus and football. You just talk Jesus and football, and you'll be in great shape. Wear a lanyard, but like to Parker's point, like, hey, I'll do an Alabama Roll Tide discount for you. It's $100 instead of the full thing. See a temple on the wall? Come on, dude. I'll give you a church member discount.
Okay.
Dude, it's like have fun with it, Honestly, it's just people like that you're just fun, and when you say it with confidence and it's fun, it usually helps you get a deal.
Especially with like the sports thing or the church thing, like they know that's not a real discount. Right?
Yeah, it's not.
But it's humorous to them. It's charming to them. They'll like you because of it, right?
However, with old people, I go with the like
Elderly.
senior discount. Discounts, dude. Black Friday.
Yep.
So, any other nuggets or questions you guys have?
Can you be a little bit more concrete about what the discount you would give personally to a renter? Like, how would you actually structure the number? Does it depend?
Yeah. So if I get on inspection with Parker and he's like, I have so many ants, I'm sick of this, I've tried home defense, then I'm gonna charge him a ton. Like he's so ready to buy that I'm gonna charge him more, right? If he's like, I don't think I need you, like the home defense has been working for me, the budget's tight right now, then I might be a little softer on the bill, right? Yeah, I think that's like the big part of it. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, and it's like what kind of value can you create, right? Like transactions happen when price meets value, and we had sales today for $1,600 contracts, right? Like you might as well be selling solar with those types of commissions per account. It's amazing, but those were only sold because the sales rep was able to create enough value that the customer was down. But yeah, there's going to be switchovers, or there's going to be DIY people that just fight you to the death, and yeah, you move down on your price and try to make it happen. To an extent, like you need to have some level of
a backbone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to have a backbone, and you got to have a line where you're not willing to cross, because you can't turn into a car salesman.
Does the backbone depend on the air? Like Alabama has.
Yeah, I
one
think it depends on the
backbone. Okay.
demographics. It depends on this, also the subscription you're selling. Some of our subscriptions, you can't go beneath a certain price because they're getting, like, objectively, they're getting a lot of value, and we will not let you sell it for a certain number, you know? So, yeah. Good question. Any other questions tonight before we finish up? Cool. We'll be back here next week. Keep training. Do hard things. Keep getting tough, and we're stoked. It's gonna be an amazing summer. So we got 3 more trainings, I think, before we're like donezo and everyone's out on the door. So
Cool.
thanks for coming.
Thank you guys.